Hello, hi there, it's Adrian again. Grade Time 5, Unit 3. Now it's time for some grammar. Okay, let's take a look at this. Grammar such and so. It's a review, okay? So it's not something that you have never seen before. So what is this? What are these words such, so and such? Okay, let's take a look at this. So when do we use the words so and such? So let's take a look. We use the words so and such to emphasize what we are saying. We want to give an emphasis. Take a look. This food is so delicious. I could say this food is delicious. But if I use the word so, is to emphasize that it is really delicious. This food is so delicious. Or, she's such a good writer. I could say she's a good writer, but if I want to emphasize, I can say she's such a good writer. But what is the difference when you use so and such? Let's see. We use so plus an adjective. For example, the weather is so nice. So what is an adjective? It is a quality. Good, delicious, nice, wonderful, interesting. Okay, for example, that movie is so interesting. Or this car is so fast. So I want to emphasize how fast this car is. Okay? And what about such? We use such plus an adjective, but this is optional, okay? And plus a noun or a pronoun. For example, I can say, it's such a wonderful day. So wonderful is an adjective and day is a noun. I cannot say it's so a wonderful day. So this doesn't sound good. But I have to say it's such a wonderful day. Such, adjective, and a noun or a pronoun. And I can't say, for example, it's such a wonderful. So it makes no sense, okay? So it's such a wonderful day. So and such, they're both used for emphasis, but they have a different way of using them, okay? Let's go back to the book now. So here in the book we have, write the correct words to complete the sentences. Check in the text. So we can find the answers in the texts that we read before. Then complete the rule with so and such. Let's take a look at number 1. Her daughters are confident. They'll do well, or they'll do really well in life. So here, do I use such or so? Here we have confident, which is an adjective. Do we have an adjective and a noun? No, just an adjective. So we have to use so. Her daughters are so confident. They'll do really well in life. In number 2, many people wonder how Chinese parents bring up, raise such successful children. Here is such because we have the adjective plus the noun, children. So what is the rule? So the rule is we use so and such for emphasis. Here we have to use, when we have an plus an adjective and plus a noun, we use such. And when we have only an adjective, we use so. We can say that we often follow these with that clause to talk about the consequences. Look at the consequence. It was such a difficult question. What is the consequence? That I didn't know what to say. For example, it was such a hot day that I had to wear sunscreen, for example. It was so hot that I couldn't sunbathe. So this is the consequence. So usually you can say a whole sentence, okay, with the consequence introduced by the word that. All right? Good. Now I want you to pause this video and I want you to try to do exercise number 2, okay? I'll give you some minutes. Okay, so how was it? Well, let's take a look at number 1 together. The homework was difficult that here you only have an adjective, so we use this one. The homework was so difficult that. His, here we have a good friend. We have an adjective plus a noun. So here we use such. He's such a good friend that. The bus was, here we only have an adjective. The word is so. The bus was so late that. And finally, it was, here we have exciting, the adjective, and the noun, book. Then we use such. It was such an exciting book that. Okay? And how can we complete these sentences using our own ideas here? Let's try to do it together. Let's see here. It was such a hot day that, for example, I decided to stay home. I didn't want to leave because it was so hot. It was such a hot day that I decided to stay home. Number 1. The homework was so difficult that I asked for help. Then I asked somebody else to help me with my homework. Okay? Number 2. He's such a good friend that I invited him to go to the beach with me, or that I gave him a present. That is the consequence. Okay? The bus was so late that I took a taxi. I couldn't wait anymore. I had to take a taxi. And finally, it was such an exciting book that I read it in 3 hours. Okay? So these are some examples of the possible consequences. All right? Now let's move on to the next topic here in our grammar points. So the next topic is the use of do and did for emphasis. But Adriano, do and did is not used only in the negative and in the interrogative. To, for example, to ask a question. Do you like the, or did you go to, or oh, I don't like, or I didn't go to. So a question and a negative. No. Sometimes we can use do and did in the affirmative sentence, but with what is the what do we want to do here? We want to emphasize something. Let me show you something. Look here. So we can use the auxiliary verb do or does or did in the past to emphasize the verb. So in this case, as I said before, we use do and did or even does to emphasize in a sentence in the affirmative. For example, I did like the food. I just wasn't hungry. Okay, because maybe somebody said to this person, "Oh, you didn't like my food, did you?" Oh, then the person says, "I did like the food. I just wasn't hungry." Okay, so usually you emphasize when somebody says something the opposite to you. Okay, for example, we didn't go to the museum, but we did go to the park. Okay, so he wants to emphasize that we didn't go to the museum, but we did go to the park. So what's the grammar like here? We use the auxiliary verb did in the affirmative before the main verb, and the main verb remains in the base form. I would say in the infinitive without to. Okay, so I did like the food, but it's referring to the past because I'm using here the auxiliary did. So I'm talking about something I liked in the past, but since I use did here, the verb remains in the base form, doesn't go to the past. Okay, the same here. We didn't go to the museum, but we did go to the park. Instead of saying we didn't go to the museum, but we went to the park, Alternatively, I can say, but we did go to the park, to emphasize. And what happens here? I use the word did, the auxiliary did, in the past, and go remains in the base form, in the infinitive. Okay? Let's go back to the book. Okay, look at activity number 3. Here, these two sentences here refer to Amy Chuas. Remember the book that she wrote about raising, about bringing up Chinese kids? And then, this could be a comment, someone's comment about her book, for example. I understand what she feels. She was only doing the best for her children. Yeah, maybe a person commenting on her book. And here, he wants to emphasize that he really understands. What do I use here? Do or did? In this case, we use do because it's in the present, yeah? I do understand what she feels. She was only doing the best for her children. Okay? The second one refers to the past. Look, she was hard on her children at times. Yeah, she was really hard, yeah? But she did raise 2 amazing children. Yeah, so she did a good job. She did raise. I could say she raised, but in this sentence here, I want to emphasize. That's why I use she did raise 2 amazing children. So if I use did, the verb raise remains in the base form. Okay, so now let's work out the rule. We use the auxiliaries do and does and did to add emphasis to what we want to say. Often when we are contradicting someone said the opposite and you want to contradict that person. For example, oh, you didn't like the film, did you? I did like the film. I want to contradict what the person said. She doesn't want to go to the party. Come on, she does want to go. She's just shy. Okay, so here the person said that she didn't want to go to the party, and I'm emphasizing that she does. Yeah, so the person said she doesn't want to go to the party. And I say, no, she does want to go to the party. Yeah, and in this case, I use does, but I don't say wants. I say she does want. The verb goes to the base form. Okay, and there is an extra look box here for us to pay attention to. Take a look at this one. The use of to and not enough. This is, you know already, okay? This is something that you have been using a lot in your classes, in your English life, okay? To say something is more than we need, we use the word to. Yeah? And to say that it's less, we use not enough. So, for example, oh, there's too much salt in my food. It's more salt than I need. Or it's too hot today. So it's more hot than I want it to be. Okay? So look, so you say too plus the adjective. Too hot. Too many and the countable noun. For example, oh, I don't like this shopping mall. There are too many people here. Too many and people, a countable noun. We can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people, etc. Okay? Too and much and an uncountable noun. For example, wow, this coffee is terrible. There's too much sugar in my coffee. It means that there's an excessive amount of sugar. More than I need, more than I want. Okay? That's why I use too much, because sugar is uncountable. Okay? And I can say also not enough when something is less than we need. Okay? When more than we need is too. When it's less than we need is not enough. There is not enough food, okay, in my coffee. Or in this case here, we can use not, adjective, and enough. Oh, this book is not good enough. So I don't think it's good. Okay. This shower, I want to take a shower, but the water is not hot enough. It's cold. Okay, or it's a little cold. Good. So now let's take a look at this activity here. Complete the second sentence so it has a similar meaning to the first sentence, using the word in parentheses. So or such, do or did for emphasis, or to and not enough. Write between 2 and 5 words. You can see that there is an asterisk here. It means that these sentences or this activity here has the same model of a Cambridge examination activity. Okay, so if you do it and you're good at this model of this format here, you're going to find a similar format at a Cambridge exam. Okay, so here you can train for your future Cambridge exam. I'll give you some minutes for you to do this activity. Pause the video now and we'll be right back. Okay, we're back. Did you have time to do it? So let's do it now together. So here, what do you have to do? You have to use the word given, for example, chairs here, and you have to use the words so, such, do, did for emphasis, or to, or not enough. And you have to use between 2 and 5 words. And this sentence here should have the same meaning of this one. Okay, so look at here, number 1. There were too many people at the meeting. So, too many people at the meeting. And some people had to stand. They had to not sit, they had to be standing. Okay? So, there at the meeting, so some people had to stand. So, we have to say that there weren't chairs for everybody. Okay? How can I say that there weren't chairs? There weren't chairs for everybody. You can say that there weren't enough. Then you have to use the word chairs. There weren't enough chairs at the meeting. So some people had to stand. So this is the same as this one. There were too many people at the meeting. Some people had to stand. Okay? Number 2. He spends too much money. Well, I have to use the word save. So if he spends too much money, the same thing would be he doesn't because it's he. So he doesn't save enough money. He doesn't save enough money. So he spends too much money. The same thing would be he doesn't save enough money. The money that he saved is not enough. Okay? Is not sufficient, I would say. So he doesn't save enough money. Number 3. This book isn't interesting enough. So I don't think it should be more interesting. It isn't interesting enough. I'm not going to finish it. I can say that putting an emphasis on the boring word. What is the word that we use before to give emphasis, that we use before an adjective? This book is so boring. This book is so boring. Okay? I'm not going to finish. So boring for me to finish, yeah? So boring that this book is so boring that let me see here, have more than so you need to have 5 words, okay? Let's see how we can do this. Well, here, if I put this book is so boring that I'm not going to finish it, it's not possible because then we're going to have more than 5 words. So I can do in another way. I can say that this book is too boring to finish. This book is too boring to finish. Okay, so it's another way to say. Number 4, you're wrong. I thought the book was really, really good. So I am contradicting what another person said, okay? So if I want to contradict, remember I can use do or did to contradict, to emphasize. So I did like the book. So you're wrong. I thought the book was really, really good. I did like the book. Okay, so I can contradict by using did and the verb like in the base form. And number 5, I really think we should leave now. So here I have to emphasize. So I do think we shouldn't stay. Oops. We shouldn't stay. I do think we shouldn't stay. So here I'm also emphasizing, as in the first one. Yeah? I really think we should leave now. So I do think we shouldn't stay. That's the same meaning, okay? Yeah, that's a hard activity. You have to think how to say the same thing using the other words and using the word between parentheses. Okay? Let's check. Okay, well done. I think it's enough for today, and see you next class. Bye.